Jim Crow, and we talk about segregation and all this fight and civil rights. We talk about all of this stuff. But none of it ever makes a difference in going forth. So we're talking about Judah because the so-called Negro, the so-called black man in America, that's who you are. And if you want to know what your future holds and what you can truly become, you need to really realize that you were somebody well before you was a slave here in America. That your fight did not begin with getting off a plantation. Your fight began a long time ago when you left Egypt. And we're going to talk about some of those things today. But lastly, why are we only talking about Judah? Are you there in Zechariah 12? Read verse 7 for.
7 says, "The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah."
All right. So that's why. For those who follow my page, since last year and this year, you see hashtag Judah Rising. That's why I've been talking about it. And I know many of you had no idea what I was talking about. But that's what I meant by it. Hashtag Judah Rising. Because Judah must rise first. We are the kings. When the kings get right, everybody else fall in line. And this is why the Most High told us in Zechariah 12, verse 7, that he would rise Judah first. Because Judah is the line of the kings. And he's the line of where Christ comes from. So he was not going to allow any other tribe to come up before Judah comes, because then they will try to say that they're supposed to be the rulers. Christ is going to be the ruler. He's going to rule us all from Jerusalem from 1,000 years. He is the line of Judah. And he also, because our Most High is the faithful God, he promised David that his heir, his throne would live forever. And so because of that promise that he made to David, he must honor that by raising Judah first. And so this is why we're discussing Judah right now and not the rest of the tribes. But trust, we're going to get to you eventually. Because we got to get all the brethren. All right? Okay, so where we at time frame wise?
26.
Oh, okay. I did pretty good with that. I thought I was going to do a little bit longer. Now, we're going to take maybe... Oh, okay. I did go a little longer. So, we thank you for your patience that you've been with us today. We're gonna spend maybe another 25, 30 minutes, and we're gonna let you go. But we have to get into the actual lesson for today. That lesson is called "To much is given, much is required." Now, remember I told you last week that we were given the laws, statutes, and commandments. We were told that we must do this way. If not, then we're going to be in trouble. And remember we just discussed in Psalms 147 that the only nation that was given the statutes, law, and commandments was us. Romans 3:1 verifies that in the New Testament. Right? So, according to Luke, the 12th chapter, verse 48, to much is given, much is required. And so some of you may say, how can a loving God allow his people, and we his chosen people, how will he allow us to go through all of this fall, all of this drama, all of this pain and suffering and death that our people have suffered, all through the times of slavery, all through the times that we were in Africa and how we went through all those different things? You would ask yourself, man, if the Most High really loved us, why did he allow all this stuff to happen to us? And my answer is simple. We did it to ourselves. And we're going to go through this. I'm going to walk through this timeline. We're going to break some scriptures. We're going to give you a few scriptures to go over. But I'm going to start from the very beginning, and I'm going to show you how the Most High was so merciful and so long-suffering with us, but we took him for granted. And any parents that's out here right now who have children, you understand fully what I'm talking about. You're going to love your kids until you leave this earth. And if some of you just have some rebellious children that you have given everything for, you have worked so hard for, you did everything for, and for some reason or another, they just won't obey. And it gets to the point when they don't obey, you have to let life deal with them. They have to deal with the consequences of their actions. And this is what happened to us. Now, just walk with me for a while here. Now, if we go back into the Exodus, the book of Exodus, you'll see that God spoke to Moses, told him to go back, and said, I have heard the cries of my people. Go back and tell Pharaoh to let my people go. Right? Moses came in, he did all these miracles, and as a result, Pharaoh let the children of Israel go. Right? Now, as soon as they left, pride rose up in Pharaoh, and he comes to tell them, listen, tell his people, we're going to go get these people back. Children of Israel was running. They came to the Red Sea. They had the Red Sea in front of them. They had the Pharaoh's army behind them. The Bible tells us that by the hand of Moses, as he lifted up the staff, the Red Sea split, and the children of Israel went across on dry land. As soon as the children of Israel got over the dry land and were safe, as the armies ran in, they were consumed by the waves. So not only did the Most High deliver them out of Egypt, but then showed him and did all these miracles, but then showed them how mighty his hand was by delivering them out of an impossible situation. And you would think after that happens, these guys, they're going to rock now. They're going to be down. But you know our people. We're hard-headed. So, it tells us in Exodus, the 32nd chapter, that when Moses was up on the mountain getting the 10 Commandments from the Most High, that the people taught Aaron into building a golden calf. And in Exodus, the 32nd chapter, while Moses is up there with the Most High, in verse 7, the Most High said, speaking to Moses, said, go get down, for your people whom you brought out of the land of Egypt have corrupted themselves. Verse 8 says, they have turned aside quickly from the way that I have commanded them. They have made themselves a molded calf and worshipped it and sacrificed to it and said, this is God. So, I'm talking about, man, this ain't been years this happened, man. This was days. Days after coming out of Israel, not only, and one part that I left out, they went in 70 people. If you look at Genesis the 50th chapter, they went in only 70 people, right? But they came out 1,000,000 strong. The latter part of them being in Israel, in Egypt, they were slaves, but they left out rich. They took all the gold and silver and treasures from Egypt. So he brought them out from one day being slaves and poor to the next day free and rich. Came to a Red Sea, parted the Red Sea for them, yet days later, they making a molded calf and saying, this is God. Sounds bad, right? And look at what he told Moses in verse 8. He said, verse 9, he said, and the Lord said to Moses, I have seen this people, and indeed it is a stiff-necked people. Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may burn hot against them, and I may consume them, and I will make thee a great nation. So he told Moses, you know what? Bro, just get out. I don't want to talk. I know what you're going to say. Listen, just let me alone. I'm about to take all of them out who down there worshiping that calf, and I'm going to make a nation through you. But Moses, being the man that he was, interceded on their behalf. Sidebar. Some of your people that's coming against your pastors, you have no idea that the pastors interceding on your behalf is some of the reason why many of you have not been destroyed. So watch your mouth when you're coming against your leaders, because you have no idea of what they're doing and standing in the gap for you. They didn't know that if it wasn't for Moses right here praying this prayer to the Most High, all of them would have been wiped out. Okay? But Moses pleased with them. Talks the Most High out of it. Most High doesn't destroy them, but he gives them another chance. All right? Then, as we fast forward to Numbers 11 chapter, they out here, and they've been out here, and the Most High's been bringing manna from the sky and feeding them and taking care of them with some of the different nations that were trying to attack them, just sparing them. Everything was working out. But then all of a sudden they got to a point where they hadn't had meat in a while. They hadn't had some vegetables